Joining us now on the Megacast from Jewish Senior Life is Tracey Proghovnick Edelstein, who is quite the expert on how you as a senior or the seniors in your life can approach housing at this point in their life. Maybe it's time to downsize. Maybe it's time to get into a facility with a little bit more services that are along the needs of what you need day to day without necessarily having constant calls to your family. There are resources, there are services that are available to you right here in our local area, and she's here to join us to talk about those right now. Tracey, thank you for being with us today.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about the issue of senior housing, and particularly that transition from maybe living in your house or living in your apartment where you've been for a number of years. Maybe you've raised your family there, but at this point in your life, it's you and maybe your significant other, or it's you alone, and you need to rethink where you're living and whether or not that's the right situation for you. There's so much to consider in these situations for seniors, especially those that maybe are living alone. So where should they start in terms of making that plan to move forward, either downsizing into a different home or going into another facility that has some more resources along the lines of their needs?
Right. You took the words out of my mouth. It's a very emotional transition. No one is excited to move, especially after, like you said, many years raising a family, memories in a home. And so that's one of the things at Jewish Senior Life. We really hold people's hand through this process because it is very emotional. And there are many options out there, which is a great thing for our community members because you can have your opportunities to look around, see what exists, what are levels of care, what is independent living versus assisted living, what is HUD subsidized housing versus market rent housing. So there's a lot to learn, and when you don't have the need to know it, it's quite a learning curve at the beginning and very overwhelming, in addition to that emotional transition that we just spoke about. And so, really making a checklist of, what's included, what are the amenities, what if I need more support as I age, what's included, meals, transportation, are there additional costs, are my utilities included, do I have a parking spot, can I take your transportation if I don't want to drive one day because the weather is kind of snowy or rainy? So, those are things that when you think about as we're all aging, and we're going to be lucky if we get to become older, I always say, is that what what can I anticipate my needs might be? And look at the whole picture, which is not an easy thing to face. But that way, when you do make a move, people say to us, we want to make one move. We don't want to keep moving. So, doing the research, going to see places, talking to experts in the field, and really learning about what you can have because you can really live an independent life for many, many years once you do decide to make a move to an older adult community.
And what sort of resources are available to help seniors explore that? Because in many cases, it's going to be a family effort. They're working on that with maybe their kids or other close family that's nearby or friends in their life that maybe have gone through that process. And that's certainly helpful. But the number of resources that are available, the variety of senior housing certainly that's available here in Oakland County, there is so much out there and there's so much information to take in to make that most informed decision. So what resources are available to help these people make that decision with as much information as possible, but not so much that they're getting overwhelmed doing it all themselves?
Right. And that's one of the things that we do at Jewish Senior Life. If we're not the right fit for you, we can help you with other ideas because we've been around since 1907. And so we've been one of the longstanding communities in our area in Michigan. But there are places like Area Agency on Aging 1B, Jewish Family Service, agencies of any social service type that might have social workers or referral centers, which both of those agencies do, that can refer you. You can also look at LARA, which is the Michigan licensing website. So if the communities you're looking for are licensed in the state of Michigan, which many assisted livings are and adult foster care homes, you can look at their ratings and see if there have been any concerns brought up that have been documented. And word of mouth is really still really big around here. People have had loved ones live this place or that place, and so talking to your friends and family is really important as well. In regard to family, you're right. A lot of adult children are supporting their loved ones in making these moves. And what we always say to people is have your wishes known so that if a crisis occurs and you cannot make those decisions, that your loved ones and those making decisions on your behalf know what your wants are. And so prior to that though, let's not wait until there's a crisis. We want you to do the research. We want you to be the decision maker and have control over your life for as long as possible.
Yeah, and cost is also a critical part of this because, as you said, making this decision, you want to limit the number of times you're moving. It's terrible to move. Moving is not fun for anyone at any age, and especially if you're making a move in the later stages of your life. You want to make sure that when you're making that move, it's one that's going to be supportive of you for a number of years and hopefully throughout a vibrant senior age time of your life. So. In many of those cases, you're looking for housing situations that have that variability, whether it's an assisted living facility or a senior living facility that has some assisted living elements. Cost also plays a big factor into it because some of them are very affordable and some of them are extremely expensive and provide similar services. So how does an organization like Jewish Family Service consult with individuals and with their families to make that right decision and find those resources that are available but within somebody's price range so they're not, it's not costing them an arm and a leg to live for the next 15 years or so?
Exactly. And so here at Jewish Senior Life, we have a lot of social workers on staff already. So a lot of times when you call us, we can walk you through the whole process. And we have options from affordable housing through HUD to market rent pricing. So we really have pricing for most. And we're able to educate our callers, inquirers, those that come in for a tour about all of the options we have. And that way we can say, okay, if your income is this or under, you can apply for our affordable housing program. If it's not, maybe we currently have a grant or a special incentive going on, so that's going to be cost savings for you. So we really look at the whole picture. We also pride ourselves in being very affordable in the world of older adult communities. So when we look at our surrounding competitors, if you will, our price points are very fair. We feel we are a nonprofit, we are mission based. And so our goal is for that people, when they come decide to live with us, that they live here through the rest of their lives. And of course, people of all faiths and beliefs are welcome. I know Jewish is in our name, but we just say we care for people Jewishly, but we are open to everybody.
More information can be found on their website at jslmi.org. That's jslmi.org for more information and resources from Jewish Senior Life. Joining us on the program is their Director of Residential Marketing and Community Relations, Tracey Proghovnick Edelstein, on today's edition of the Megacast. And in terms of finding that right situation, that's one thing that's a big part of this process. The next step is arguably the most important. It's getting them from point A to point Z and actually making that move. So what sort of resources are available to them in that regard, getting them from their home they're currently in to the one that they're going to be spending hopefully the rest of their life in a lot of comfort?
Well, when I started 25 years ago, it seemed to me that there were less resources, and now I'm thrilled to say that there are many more options for people to consider that we can share with them when they decide to make the move, and it really helps take some stress off of their shoulders. One of the resources would be someone to help them with right sizing. You may have heard of the term downsizing. We now say right sizing. There are professionals out there that are professional. Move managers, right sizers. Sometimes they are also a real estate agent. So sometimes you can call one person and have all of those moving essentials taken care of by that one person. One stop shopping. And if we are talking to our folks moving in, we say, what do you want to keep? What do you need to keep? What do you want to give to loved ones? And really, if you don't decide on the latter, then you won't know potentially who's going to end up with some of those items, which some of them may be very sentimental. So we want to make sure that people know that sometimes taking pictures and putting them in an album of your child's kindergarten painting, which is very precious, I know, because I have those too. Um, but maybe making an album of some of the items that you no longer really physically, tangibly need, but you want to still have as a memory. There are ideas, and people in this business have the best ideas.
More information and ways to get in contact with Jewish Senior Life for some of these resources can be found at jslmi.org. Tracey, before we let you go, we got about 1 minute left. Any other lasting advice that we haven't talked about yet, or other topics that should be front of people's mind as they're making this move themselves?
Well, I appreciate hearing your prior presenter, Stephen, about real estate. You know, it's a seller's market right now. It's a great time to move. Your house is usually often your biggest asset, and that's going to help sustain you if you do decide to move to a community. And so, getting with a smart real estate agent and selling at the right time. We're happy to give out those resources as well. We work with a lot of people that specialize in working with older adults and these types of moves.
And as Tracy said, if they're not able to provide what you need to you or to your family member or family members, they'll help you point to other resources available in our community, other organizations that do similar work that may be more along the lines of what you're looking for. So Tracy, thank you so much for joining us to tell us about some of these resources that are available and give that helpful advice to families and individuals that are looking to right size their life as they go into the latter years of life.
Thank you for having me.